People know me, know that Shaquille O'Neal's in my top five all-time players. I don't care what people be saying. And I'm gonna tell you another thing too. He's still honoring Kobe Bryant's family because he gifted the Land Cruiser, Toyota Land Cruiser that Kobe once had back in '96. He got it to Kobe's mother Pam on Kobe Day. Yeah, he's been in he's one of the few people that acknowledges the Bryant family. Yeah, everybody knows about the fallout and with Vanessa and all that with the family and how everything with that. Kobe had his issues with his dad and all that, but Shaq stays in touch with the Bryant family. To tell you something, you know. And see, no matter what people want to say about Shaq, he was the only one that got up there during Kobe's services and acknowledged the Bryant family. The only one. So you can say what you want to say about him, but Shaq kept it 100. Yeah, and for the record, yeah, I always keep Shaq in my top five. I don't know where I got him ranked, but he's in my top five. He was the last dominant player to do what he do. He gets a bad rap for a lot of stuff. He did enough as far as I'm concerned. The last three, Pete, I tell you that. Now, you can have your LeBron and you can have your, and even though I got much respect for Steph, and I think Shaq kind of goes overboard with Steph as far as saying he's better than him. I think a lot of Steph Curry because he's in my top 10 all time. But I will say this, though. No, Shaq was something else. They couldn't properly reference to call the games with him. And people always talking about underachieve. I tell y'all one thing. I can tell you there's about 25, 40 cats would love to have the half of his resume. So if we just split the 2 rings and 3 finals appearances, they would be glad to have the half of his career. And that's some of the so-called guys that are considered great. So that should kind of tell you. Because if you can split rings in half and split your career in half, you wouldn't want that. That guy left a lasting impact. So I don't care what nobody says. But his heart is even bigger. I might always agree with him, and I didn't think he's been petty. And for the record, yes, hold him in high regard as a player for what he did. He's been petty, and he said some really, janky stuff. And I ain't always agreed with him because I looked at him sideways, especially with the Kyrie Irving thing and certain other things. But this thing with how he's been with the Bryant family, make no mistake about it. He's been a first-class act with that. He really gave back. He reached back. He's the only one. Because all the time people talk about Mamba this and they go on about that. They never talk about Kobe's family. They never. That's like a big Scooby-Doo mystery that it's amazing how that never comes into view. As if Kobe